There it is. Boy, it's been weeks. I thought maybe Phil Griffin told me to come on anymore. And we love Chuck Todd, whether it's every single day, 5 p.m., MSNBC, MTP Daily, or, of course, the most important and best show on television, Meet the Press on Sundays, which Chuck does an amazing job as moderator. Here again for his Friday visit. Now, before we get to the Blasio stuff, usually start by asking Chuck about sports, but they're going to tee off at about 10 to 2 this afternoon, and Tiger's already back, 9 back of Koepka. He's not going to catch him, so that's over. So let's start with this, because I thought this was some of the most entertaining television I've ever seen. Chuck Todd and Ted Cruz arguing about whether or not space pirates actually exist. Was he serious?
That space pirates thing was fantastic, was it not?
It was absolute genius. And I got to tell you, I never knew there were pirates in space. I still don't think there are pirates in space. Was he serious?
This was at a committee hearing, man. This was not. I don't think he was joking. I think Cruz is one of these totally misunderstood senators. You know, people think I'm crazy. I think he is funny. People don't realize his dry sense of humor. I think he was joking, but that's the point of Cruz, is that he's sort of fearless about some of these things.
I don't think he was joking.
I don't know if he was joking.
I watched it. I think he says, look, if there are pirates on the ocean, there are pirates in space. And you're like, swashbuckling galaxy?
Well, I was thinking, maybe it's possible he's thinking, Rocket Raccoon, Chris Pratt, those guys, I guess. Well, or maybe we get the Guardians of the Galaxy. They'll be our Space Force. It's going to be, that was, sometimes, this is why I say it's impossible to fictionalize politics anymore, because the real stuff's too good.
That is true.
It's just too good.
It really is. Front and center. It's eclipsed Hollywood and all of this stuff.
Oh.
It really has.
Yeah,
and
the
just
best reality show we got going. Man.
You're damn right, Chuck Todd. And add to it, of course, yesterday, our illustrious mayor of New York City jumping into the race. I mean, it is really laughable and it's funny, but it's incredible how it united people, everybody, on both sides. Nobody wants this guy to run.
And this is the part of it that I didn't understand. I thought after the Amazon debacle, you're like, all right, he doesn't have a big success to tout that somebody in Iowa would get. And look, I mean, let's take this at face value. Had the Amazon deal happened, then he could say, see, I'm a progressive who still likes business, right? And you thought, okay, that could be a message. But when you lost that deal, what do you run on? I'm the guy that couldn't bring jobs to New York City. I'm the guy that couldn't cut a deal with Amazon. I'm a guy that couldn't do this. I'll put that in that would be the serious bucket. But then the other part of this is, I mean, you guys know New York City better than me. Every mayor that has tried to go on the national stage gets ridiculed by the locals, even if they're semi-popular.
Yeah.
Right? John Lindsay, Rudy certainly, got some grief every now and then. Bloomberg.
Well, you say Bloomberg, but I got to tell you, that's the one guy, and I don't know if he would beat Trump. I would like to see Bloomberg run. I think he would have done well.
I think he would have, too, but I think he actually sees Joe Biden and his calculus turned out to be the right call. But on de Blasio, I mean, it is, look, the minute there's some sort of problem, somebody's trash doesn't get picked up, they're like, de Blasio's in South Carolina. The minute there's another traffic problem somewhere, the subway doesn't work. And, oh, by the way, you think Andrew Cuomo isn't going to say it's time to have some problems in New York City just to get under de Blasio's skin? I mean, even if you're a de Blasio fan, you want to tell him, you got way too many obstacles in front of you to try to do this. And this may go very poorly.
Yeah. He doesn't care.
This is one of those things. You run for president, most of the time it's about elevating your position. The last thing you want is to run for president and all of a sudden
become a laughingstock.
Yeah. But I don't think he cares. He's a lame duck mayor, anyone. He may make some money out of this, maybe get some more exposure. I don't think he cares, but the bigger picture is the Democrats running against Donald Trump. He becomes number 24. Now, this is early, very, very early. But at least early on, the only candidate that's got any traction, is Joe Biden.
Donald Trump, I think, had the best political analysis of the Democratic field last week when he says, he looks at Biden, he sees the start, and he goes, this looks familiar. It looks a lot like 16, right? Yeah. Everybody said, Trump gets to the lead quickly, and everybody, people like me and others, well, he'll fall, others are going to catch him, and he never fell. Because in some way the field was so large that everybody was too busy beating each other up in traffic, right? It's like a 20-horse Kentucky Derby. If you can get out front quick, it doesn't matter how good of a horse you are. If you're in the wrong part of that, if you got the wrong gate, you're not catching up. And he had 16 horses chasing him. Biden's got 23. So it's possible this field is too large now to take Biden down.
Well, you guys
he can just sort of hover over this. Now, look, I also have Biden pundit whiplash, right? I'm old enough to remember 3 months ago when we thought that the guy was just never, couldn't get out of the starting gate. Now, of course, he's already the president of the United States. So I think we could all just calm down and know that this thing's going to have some ups and downs. But Trump himself, his call may be right, given his own experience and given what we saw. You get a field that gets too big, those guys can't get any room to run.
And now you, MSNBC and NBC will be hosting the first debates towards the end of June, and you're going to split it up into 2 nights. I mean, to decide who gets on that stage and who doesn't. I would imagine
Poor people aren't getting on. Think about this: it could be the mayor of the largest city may not make the debate stage.
Wow.
You could have a congressman may not make the debate stage. You could have a U.S. senator or 2 not make the debate stage, and you could have some dude named Andrew Yang make the debate stage.
Yeah, right. I hope he does. I like that guy.
Yeah, he happens to be a very bright guy. He happens to be a very good candidate that nobody knows about.
Right. No, but my point is, because he's done a lot of this legwork, he's gotten a following on Reddit that's gotten him some donors. So my point is that some people's egos are really going to get harmed when they find out who doesn't make it.
Well, listen, here's what I want from you, because and one of the reasons why I love you is the sports thing, the handicapping. You're not afraid to go out there and predict something. Are you at least at this point, and you can change your mind every week until November of 2020, are you at least at this point, Chuck, handicapping Donald Trump as a prohibitive favorite to win this thing again in 2020?
I don't see how you can have somebody whose job approval rating's not at 50. You can't call him a prohibitive favorite. You can't. I mean, look at those numbers in Pennsylvania that we saw this week where not just Biden led them, but 4 of the top 5 led them. But
didn't you learn your lesson the last election from these polls, Chuck?
Well, because here's what you need to know. There's one thing that I think that Donald Trump needs to remember. No matter how much he hopes for it, Hillary Clinton's not going to be his opponent.
That's true.
And one of the things that I think the longer we remove ourselves from 2016 and the more we see her and the more we see the Democratic Party, I think history will level Hillary Clinton as one of the worst candidates.
Yes.
One of the worst nominees that the party's ever had.
Maybe the worst.
And that's why I one of the things about 16 is how much was Trump and how much was Hillary. And you know what? We're going to get the final answer in 2020. If Trump does win re-election, then we'll say there was a lot more of Trump than Hillary about 2016. If Trump doesn't win, history will say that was about
that's fair,
right? Well, listen, you got putting a lot of people putting their eggs in the Biden basket, but I'm telling you, he's got some baggage and some flaws. Is my prediction anyway, Chuck Todd. But we are out of time. We're out of time, Chuck. But we always love having you on, man.
Yeah, it's great to have you back.
You're going to like this one because it's 2 people I think you enjoy watching. One is Bernie Sanders and the other is Tom Cotton.
Wow, you got them both.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That is great. Yeah, that is great. Coming up on Meet the Press, Tom Cotton and Bernie Sanders. Hey, Chuck, it's great to have you back, bro. We love you. Thank you.
You're the man.
Enjoy the golf. Kepka and his muscles there, and his muscle shirt, right? He'll flex his way to the
Yeah.
He does have muscles, and he is the best in the world.
Right.
Yep, no doubt. Thank you,
He doesn't have to wear a youth T-shirt.
No,
he can wear a man's shirt.
That's a shot at me. Thank you, Chuck. We love you.